Hey, I want to give a quick update on what I've been up to. So this weekend I went to the Commission on the Status of Women Youth Forum. So this is the second youth forum that the UN has held. And I had a lot of trouble getting in, which is a whole story to go into. Hilarious if you want to ask. So Saturday afternoon was a panel on women entrepreneurs and economic empowerment, which is the theme of CSW this year, is women's economic empowerment in a changing world of work. And so there were some good speakers on that. Then there was a breakout session, which was probably the most interesting, was the empowerment of Indigenous women, the importance of changing cultural norms and recognizing like how long of a process that is, because there's deeply ingrained concepts of women just not being important in a lot of these communities. And so these women are fighting for their ability to inherit land or manage their own finances or participate in any sort of legislative process. And then what was brought up there was the importance to transmit your ancestral identity through artisanry or through the way that they're economically empowering themselves. Why do people need to lose their cultural identity in order to achieve economic success? Why do they need to leave their lands or, lose their language, remove themselves from their traditions and their people? So I thought that those were really good questions and discussions that were happening. Another thing that was brought up there and has influenced my thinking over the last couple days is questioning like what is work, which is a pretty good one. What do we define as legitimate work or illegitimate work, and how our notions of what work is are very much tied to like an industrial mindset. So that was the breakout. The breakout session was really good. And then we went back and had another panel discussion on the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, which in short is called CEDAW. So the United Nations has recognized recently the importance of making language more accessible. So in these really dense legalese documents that you have to be like really invested to read because they're frustrating, they're starting to simplify them. So, they're saying it's for youth, but it's really great because it's accessible to generally anybody, so folks can understand what is at the core of these policies. So that was good. So they went over CEDAW, which is the first one that they've produced. Then Sunday, I had another problem getting in. So the afternoon session was specifically on intergenerational dialogue and mentorship, recognizing that the older generation has a lot to teach the younger generation, but also that the younger generation has a ton to teach older generations, and really recognizing our experiences as young people are completely legitimate and we have expertise too. And I'm not saying like me as a younger person, I'm saying like there's an 8-year-old out there who knows more about something that a 20-year-old does, because of their lived experiences. And so the Youth Forum was a great place to like really recognize the validity of those experiences and see, how they're starting to influence things on a much, much larger scale. There was a 12-year-old girl that went up and spoke, and that was cool. She was the youngest person that I saw there. A lot of folks were in their like early 20s. There were a bunch of teenagers too. The UN has a very broad definition of what youth is. I think that the cutoff is 32. So intergenerational dialogue and mentorship was Sunday afternoon. And then the closing was briefly going over a youth declaration was read and an outcome document. So it's like the youth forum is like a mini commission on the status of women, specifically by youth. And so this outcome document included language that folks really want to see included in policy. And I was told that it was going to be uploaded at the latest by Monday afternoon, but I have yet to see a link to this. I am going to renew my efforts and search for it, and I will post it when that becomes available, because the language that's included in that is very, very different, and recognizes nuances around the concepts of gender that, you know, older folks don't quite get yet. Let's see. Yeah, so that was the youth forum. It was interesting. You know, there were some really boring parts because it's panels and, you know, everybody's sitting in their seat. But there were some really good organizers that tried to like energize the crowd and were like running around being silly. And there was some spoken word at one point. I'm pretty sure I was like starting to fall asleep. And this woman like broke out into this amazing poem, which I will try to find. I don't know if I can, but it was good. It was really good. And there was some singing and, you know, some entertainment. But, you know, it was good. It's the second year that it's happened. I got to meet somebody who helped organize it the first year around, and that was really good. And just, you know, like the energy of the people that were in attendance there is very, very different than what I have seen in the past and I'm seeing this year at CSW. So the Commission on the Status of Women, this is my first time as a delegate. So what that means is I actually get to go inside the United Nations. So if you can imagine being in C-SPAN, except multiple languages happening at the same time, that's kind of what I am experiencing, which is cool. It's great. I'm getting to understand how international policy, you know, the day-to-day operations. So CSW is the 2-week working session that specifically focuses on women's rights issues across the globe. So I'm going to update you all about that later. This is specifically about the youth forum over the weekend. Yeah, so I'll do another video later. It's really late. I'm going to do a Facebook Live in the morning, I guess. So yeah, I will look for the youth outcome document, and I will try to be better about uploading these things. So today was the second official day of CSW because we had that great snow day yesterday. I took advantage and spent the whole day writing a grant proposal. And then today there was ceremonies to go to. So I will do a video on official CSW information tomorrow, and I will try to be better about doing these because I realized, you know, I'm halfway through the first week and I haven't done them. So anyways, I hope everyone is doing great and everybody, you know, enjoyed their day off work and got to throw snowballs in somebody's face. Cool. All right. Night.